Yeah, back in the field with the track stars Ryan Righteous, Sean Tennant, DJ Jeremiah. I've got a special edition of Track Stars Live right now. I'm sitting down with MC Nice, one of the creators, one of the headhunters, one of the head people in charge of. Hang on, what's going on? Yeah, one of the headhunters in charge of the 2020 Summerfest, God's House of Hip Hop 2020 Summerfest. MC, how's everything been going?
Oh man, it's once we made the announcement, it's just been, just mash the gas, trying to get everything in order and everything right for September 17th and 18th at the Bank of California Stadium here in Los Angeles, California,
Okay.
where what you gonna say?
Oh no, I said okay. I'm listening.
Now, where it's going to be probably the largest faith-based hip hop, Christian hip hop, Latin Christian hip hop, and gospel hip hop event in the history of the world, Craig. You know what I'm saying? So,
Okay, I gotta ask you, what was the vision behind doing this event? What made you say we need this and it needs to be done right now?
yeah, me and my business partner Chantal Grayson, aka Shani G, what we found as because I'm a Christian hip hop artist myself,
Yeah, yeah.
MC Nice, right? And so what we found is that when labels were approaching us in regards to signing myself, it
Mm-hmm.
was more like not really comparable to what the secular artists are making. And at the end of the day, it was what the unique thing behind it is um the the reason for this was because we wanted to put in position where other artists that are coming behind me wouldn't have this problem. So labels were saying, well, we can't give you secular deals because um, Christian hip hop don't have radio.
Hmm.
Christian hip hop don't have venues outside of churches. Christian
Mm-hmm.
hip hop don't have media, print media, you know what I mean, to
Mm-hmm.
support it. Like it don't have an ecosystem, pretty much. And
Mm-hmm.
so we said, now, obviously what I'm doing is not going to benefit me, in the right as of right now, because it's more about the future. How do we secure the future for Christian hip hop? And
Mm-hmm.
so the whole thing was, okay, there's no radio. We went out, started a radio station that not only, is now popular, but it's one of the prominent radio station in all of gospel and Christian hip hop, being the
Right.
Stellar Ward station, right?
Right.
God's House of Hip Hop, powered by
Mm-hmm.
Dash Radio. So that was one, and we're a BDS station, and as um, BDS is what Nielsen and Billboard. That's
Mm-hmm.
they monitor that, right? So
Mm-hmm.
there wasn't nothing for Christian hip hop. Well, guess what? Now there's a BDS reporting charts for the charts for Christian hip hop. And there's 7 stations within Christian hip hop that are playing. So that was one thing. So we established that, and then the evolution of a radio station is whether it be V10, was it V103 out there or 107?
B103,
Yeah,
1079. Yeah.
yeah, right. So 1079 Streets 945. The unique thing about radio stations, they all have either jams, power
Mm-hmm.
jams, or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and so we consider ourselves one of the big boys. And
Yeah.
so we wanted to a dispel the myth of Christian hip hop not having venues. So we said, let's create the venue. And God's House of Hip Hop 2020 Summerfest is that venue where we wanted to showcase not just the who's who of the culture, but give people, even the culture, a
Mm-hmm.
vision of the culture. Because we got 75, I think 75, 70 plus artists performing. And I bet you not half of these people know who each other is. They've heard of each other, but
Mm-hmm.
now we put them in a setting to where they're going to be able to communicate and fellowship and share the word of Christ.
Mm-hmm. I see a lot of things coming out of this event. I see a lot of collaboration. I see a lot of camaraderie. What was it about the artist selection that you finalized where you just said, we got the powerhouse, this is it, this is the group that's going to take it over? What was it about that selection that made
Yeah,
you confident?
before the pandemic, it
Hmm.
was a regional thing. It
Okay.
was like, okay, in order for this to really, come off right, we needed to infuse our roster with regional heavyweights, and
Mm-hmm.
then expand outside of that. And regional meaning, has an artist been to California, period, to
Right.
perform? Has an artist even been on the radio in California? Or even, a lot of people were, um, they, I guess when you think about their YouTube numbers or their Spotify numbers, that doesn't generate ticket sales. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? And our whole objective in California is to generate ticket sales. We're in a Latin market, and this is so that the culture looks good, not because we like people, or
Yeah.
we feel like you should be in this position because you hot. At the end of the day, if you didn't do your due diligence and come to the West Coast to perform, how you gonna get on a West Coast ticket? You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? Now, if we were doing it in Atlanta, I guarantee the roster be very different.
I would love
You
that,
know what
by
I
the
mean?
way.
But or if we were doing it in Chicago or Texas, it'd be very different.
Yeah.
Africa. We're going to be in Africa in 2023. That roster is going to be very different. You know what I'm saying?
Africa
So
2023.
yeah, we'll talk
Woo.
about that a little later. You know
Woo.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So but the thing about it is, so we went with that. Now the pandemic hit, and obviously everybody took one. So we kept the same roster intact, because we didn't cancel.
Mm-hmm.
There was news out there that we had canceled. We didn't cancel, we postponed. And by postponing, we were able to keep everybody intact.
Yeah.
And we, obviously we had room for a heavyweight, and we added one in Bizzle, and upgraded one,
Mm.
and put one day in place,
Wow. Yeah.
so because we thought about it, and we was like, when the news is a lot of females don't get headliner positions,
Wow.
right? And
Yeah.
no festival outside of obviously Beyonce or like Cardi, but then that's because they've blown up, and so people are capitalizing on that. So for us, we was like, we have females within the culture. Let's elevate those that are one have done it, like Angie Rose, and
Yeah.
then one day is on
Yeah.
the cusp of being great, of being not just great but a superstar. So
Okay.
it's like, one, let's help elevate that. Let's help.
Mm-hmm.
And so that when with the roster, that's what it was about. It was about regional and then national. You know,
Okay. Okay. So I appreciate you inviting me into the press junket earlier this week. I learned a lot, but also confirmed a lot for me, right?
uh,
You mentioned something that I thought was so key. You gave a breakdown of the price of the ticket. You gave a
uh,
breakdown of 2 days, 75 artists. Can you explain that breakdown again for
well,
the
the
audience?
breakdown was, so what we're doing is we're doing a digital streaming,
Okay.
and we're doing in person, so people can come actually live in person, and hopefully we can get the VR situation worked out
Mhm.
where you can throw on the goggles and go backstage and go check out everything that the artist is doing. So for the streaming, for those that can't make it to California, it's real simple. It's starting at $20, right, plus fees.
Jeez. Yeah. Yeah.
So think about it, $20 plus fees. Anybody watching this, you should actually go and get those tickets now if you're not coming to California. Because the thing about it is, you're getting 70 plus artists for $20 a day. It's $20 a day, by the way, plus
$20
fees.
a day.
$20 a day. You
Yeah.
mean the culture's not worth that?
Mhm.
You
No,
know what I
it's
mean?
definitely worth it. I would pay that
Right.
7
Yeah.
times over,
Right.
just because of the I've seen the headlining video. Trackstarz. We're gonna put it up on our IGTV today. The headlining video alone. If you were to go see all these artists in the same city, if you were gonna go see them in your city, you spending like $500 on a whole ticket for the entire year that these artists will be in town.
And
So
that's
that
just on a couple of them.
yeah, on a couple of
You know
them,
what I'm
right?
saying? Yeah, on a couple of them. We got 75 of some heavyweights.
Yeah.
Some 70 plus, because we actually got some surprises coming. So we got
Oh,
70 plus, you know what I'm saying?
okay,
So we got
okay.
70 plus artists that are heavyweights within the culture,
Mm-hmm.
and some are up and coming, but we got heavyweights, and there's nothing been like this. So $20 plus fees starts it off. Then we add perks. to it. So, extra 5 might get you, an official commemorative, lanyard. An extra whatever might get you that, that swag shirt. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
like there's
yeah,
different things that, that create the incentive for those that's going to be at home.
yeah.
And if you are at home, I encourage you to go to your churches and have them
Mhm.
get it. Maybe throw a sweat like a festival weekend where the youth can come out and they may not be able to make it to LA, but they'll be able to see all their favorites.
Yeah. You know what's interesting is I was on the website earlier this week and I saw you all already have merch up. You
Yeah.
got 2020 Fest merch, and I was wondering if I'm somebody who's streaming it, right?
Uh-huh.
Are the audiences able to see each other? Like if I wanted to buy the shirt, put it on, and then turn on my camera, am I able to do that, or is it just I'm
Yeah,
watching?
we're working out the inner particulars of that as we speak, because our system is very
Mhm.
interactive. So
Mhm.
not only you'll be able to, I know we're going to be in chats. I just need to check the
Mhm.
check the camera situation. But yeah, we're going to be able to during the festival when there's breaks, there's going to be
Yeah.
games being played where people can win stuff. There's going to be chat rooms that you can go in and talk to other
Yeah.
people, in regards to what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I'll let you know more about that later.
And MC, this is not like you needed a cosign, but you've had a lot of cosigns on this, from Curtis Blow to Canton Jones to Bizzle to D1 to Derek Minor. Like, if you're a fan of Christian hip hop, if you're an artist yourself, or you're somebody who understands anything about our culture, you pretty much have tackled everybody that someone would say, well, is this person on the list, or is this person a headliner, is this person gonna be at the show? And then you drop in some great nuggets that we weren't even expecting to see. Some of my friends, some of my favorites, like Loso, like Paris Carriz. Talk about how you came up with this group that was this group that was so dynamic that you were just like, I got to showcase this to the world the
Yeah.
way that this has been presented.
Well, the consumers
Mm-hmm.
of music and television have been hearing Christian hip hop artists,
Yeah.
whether it was Swoops, the Giannis commercial, or Andy Minio's coming in hot, or one day on ESPN, Joey Vantes with uh, Christian Dior. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like there's a whole, you've been hearing it. A lot
Yeah.
of people just didn't know. They don't know that those are Christian hip hop artists. So we
Right.
said, okay, let's showcase, a vast variety of the culture.
Mm-hmm.
So that, and so that later on, these cats might end up getting major situations just from this,
Mm-hmm.
because of the magnitude of what this is. And you also get to meet the music, the people behind the music. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
At least some of them. And so in selecting like Loso and Loso was also known as a battle rapper, one
Mm-hmm.
of the best battle rappers in
Yeah.
all of
The,
battle
the
rapping,
source. Yeah.
along with the saga. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
so why are they excluded? You know what I mean? So we
Right.
figured, let's show you, a carte blanche of the culture, whether it be,
Mm-hmm.
the up and comers, whether it be
Mm-hmm.
Main or Miles Minnick, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or, all the way to, AI the Anomaly. He
Mm-hmm.
Sun Lee, we got Koreans in the game. Uzuhan. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
How many people checking for Uzuhan, who's actually super dope?
He is
You
dope.
know what I'm saying?
He is
So
dope,
when
man.
you,
He
and
is
then
dope.
Brian Trejo, who's really, got,
Ah.
what I'm saying? Like, so we wanted to make sure that all the, when you think about hip hop, you think
Mm-hmm.
about gangster rap, conscious
Mm-hmm.
rap, they got all these factions within hip hop. Well, in Christian hip hop, we got the same type of factions. You
Yeah.
got, the R&B type vibe. You got the, R&B hip hop type vibe. You got the gangster Christ raps. You
Yeah.
got, various things. So why not showcase that? A lot of people
Mm-hmm.
sleep on Latin Christian hip hop, but when you think about Alex Zerto, and Manny
Yeah.
Montez, you know what I'm saying, Brian Trejo,
Yeah.
they moving
They corner
units.
it. They
You know
corner the
what I'm saying?
market.
So,
Yeah, they're cornering it.
and then for maybe next year we'll have Cardiac El Cardiac drums. Cardiac
Yeah.
El drums, and
Yeah.
and Profeta, Nathan El Profeta. So it's going to grow,
Mm-hmm.
from here. And you can best believe, you think this year is hot. Imagine what 2022 is going to be.
Yeah.
You know, in 2021, I encourage people, if you're not coming to LA, please go out and get the streaming tickets, because it ain't just for us, it's for the culture. Do it for the culture.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I think this is gonna do well because of this being the first event for all of us after we've all had cabin fever. You know what I mean? Like,
Right,
who
right.
wouldn't want to be in LA with the sun and the people and the
And the palm
atmosphere?
trees. Yeah.
Yeah, just I mean, when I was watching the video, the trailer, right? I was just like, man, beaches, restaurants, like you almost want to go back to that. This is a real life experience post pandemic. You're dying to get back to that if you're a Christian hip hop fan, if you're a fan of hip hop, if you're a fan of people in
And it's
general.
all open space. So
Yeah.
we encourage people, if you come into LA, you might want to come a little earlier and do LA, or stay a little later and do LA, because LA is full of dynamic things, whether it be
Yeah.
Catalina Island, to the beaches, to the food. Like we have a real situation here.
You have. You know what? I've been to a Kingdom Business concert and event, and I've seen the people pour in like an entourage. Like Brian Trejo's car pulls up, and it's like 50 cars behind him that are all following him to the venue to see him perform. He may not even know who they are, but they are there to see him. You got Alex Zerto, who's had over 200 million views on his YouTube channel alone. You got
Facts.
Monty Montez that has been making headlines with his music videos. You got D1, you got Derek Meyer, you got all these names you recognize. You got Bizzle. To me, it feels like if every single one of these artists is to repost or talk about being at this event, their audience is going to show up and sell out. I honestly think if we didn't have a pandemic and we were trying to fill the Bank of California Stadium, what does it hold? 22,000?
Yeah, 22,000.
That's it right there. You got it. You got it right there. That headline list alone should be able to fill that stadium on a regular non-pandemic situation.
Yeah,
But I get it. I
you
get
would
it. We
hope
gotta.
so. But people from from the East Coast and from the South, our pricing is different on the West Coast, because our economy is
Yeah.
a lot more expensive. So
Yeah.
some of the backlash we heard from last year was that the tickets were too expensive. We're like, it's 75 artists. You know what I'm saying?
So that's what I want you to break down. You broke down
Yeah.
how much people are spending per artist for the whole 2 days. So break that down.
I mean, the ticket prices are going to start, and this is all VIP, by the way, because of California's mandate. We're in the orange tier, so that means we only can have like 37% of the stadium capacity.
Oh, wow.
In, and so
Okay.
all the tickets that are going to be sold are all VIP, which means you're there on the state. Normally VIP tickets run you $250. Then you got the bowl tickets, which are like, we were starting at $150. Keep in mind, Rolling Loud comes through, they tickets is $400. You know what I'm saying? A day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You end up paying $1,800. Here we're charging literally for this year, when the tickets go on sale next week, it's going to be about $150. You know what I'm saying? Per day. To see and it's all VIP though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and when you break it down, you take $75. Let me pull out a calculator.
That's $2 an artist.
Yeah, well, you good with the math. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's 150
right.
divided by 2.
Right, yeah, you got it. So at the end of the day, you telling me the culture ain't worth $2 an artist? Like, our artists ain't worth that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I get frustrated on that part, is, the tickets are too high. I'm like, well, it's 75 people. You're going to go pay. Let's just really do the math. So if Bizzle comes through and he's got, 3 or 4 people, and let's say his tickets are $25, or some of them are $70 for like 5 people. So you pay the 70 for the 5, but not the 140 for the 75.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Yeah, Bizzle mentioned that you might see the whole squad there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he did mention that.
He said you might pull up.
And you know how ironic, and this wasn't even planned like this, is that most of them are performing on Saturday. AI The Anomaly's performing on Saturday. Dayton's performing on Saturday. Jared Sanders is performing on Saturday. So I can believe that that's going to be a GOM type. I believe it.
Yeah.
And with Willie Moore Jr. being in the building, I wouldn't be surprised if they snuck one of their collaborations on, because they did a record together.
Yeah.
So
I do remember that.
I wouldn't be surprised, if that happened.
Yeah. What's interesting is that the artists that you had at the press junket, they were going around telling you what you can expect from their shows. And some of the ones that stood out that were memorable to me was Angie Rose talking about her new EP that she's going to be performing that hasn't been performed anywhere. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
So it's an exclusive.
it's an exclusive. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
You talk about Canton Jones, who said that you're going to get prayer, you're going to get emotion, you're going to get worship, you're going to get.
He said he might cry on the stage.
Yeah, a turn up show. I mean, and when Canton Jones does a show, when Canton Jones does a music video, it's like it's done to excellence. So I'm excited about what all these artists we're talking about. And that's just some of the artists that were speaking on the press junket. I mean, look at where One Day is. Look at where 1K Few is.
That's gonna be interesting. I'm interested to see exactly how One Day brings it on this set, on this stage, because it's the stage is like 100 feet by 60. It ain't no little stage. You know what I mean? And it's gonna be flanked by some real good monitors. It's gonna be comparable to the big boys, and one of the biggest stages ever built at this particular stadium. So we're not holding back on the particulars. So it's gonna be. I'm interested to see One Day in that environment. Even Angie Rose, because if you haven't been put in that situation, you know what I mean. And now this is that moment. Who's gonna rise to the occasion, because now you're gonna find out who the real who's really built for that. You know what I mean?
So MC, I can't let you escape this interview without talking about yourself. So you've got a couple of things that are going to be monumental for your own music career in this event. Can you talk about some of that?
Well, I got a new single out, by the way. Cop that. It's for the grown and blessed. It's called Dancing. So featuring De La Mans, just dropped yesterday. It's more of a it's not your typical Christian hip hop record, but yeah, with me, I'm coming from a place where I've done performing for years, and really in the Christian hip hop space hadn't did a whole lot of performances. You know what I mean? It's been more like set up records, putting myself in position, to make that move. So what you can expect from me is I'm coming with the guns. You know what I'm saying? So,
blazing.
If you ain't there, if one thing you're gonna do is leave that show going, yo, I did not know MC Nice was that guy. You know what I mean? I got some surprises I got a couple of secular artists that's coming out that people know, right? I got some legends that's coming out that people know. So you're gonna be entertained for the whole show. And it's going to be a show, not something that, where you get up on stage and walk around for a little bit.
Can you talk about who are some of the sponsors or who have partnered with you to help put on this event?
Well, right now, they no sponsors at this moment. We out of pocket. You know what I'm saying? So, right. Yeah. So, to put that in perspective, most people go out.
I can't put that in perspective.
Right. And so for us, it's, but we do have hotel partners like Del May. So, people will be able to, they make booking easy. We got a partnership with We Make the Brand, who handles all of our marketing, all of our whatever. So, all the dope rollouts you're seeing, that's We Make the Brand. And then the streaming side of it, the Probus Group, it's all Latin company, Probus Group, that is going to give you that full entertainment outside of they're going to bring you the dope visuals for streaming. So I'm excited.
Man.
I'm excited.
So, is there a possibility that this could be picked up and posted to a streaming service later after the event? Like, is there a recap for it? Is there a documentary coming out of this that will?
Yeah,
this is history in the making. This is history in the making. So this got to be captured.
Well, it's historical just in the announcement alone. So, and not to mention, it's not just a stadium. is the premier stadium in Los Angeles, where the
Mm.
Major League Soccer team, the LA Football Club, plays. It had the MLS MVP,
Yeah.
right? So it is the premium and premier soccer stadium in all of
Mm-hmm.
Southern California.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start there. And for Faith, and for us to land that, that's
Mm-hmm.
got everybody boggled. Like, how did the
Mm-hmm.
Christian, faith-based situation land that stadium? And
Mm-hmm.
so, it's going to be really, really dope, in regards to the
Mm-hmm.
the visuals coming out of that.
So I got to ask you a tough question, okay?
Okay.
Is there any chance, any percentage of a chance that this could turn into a fire fest?
Well, the only way it turned into a fire fest is if the stadium explodes. You know what I'm saying? So, and I
Yeah.
doubt that very serious. Keep in mind that with the fire fest, there was no infrastructure.
Yeah.
Like, had Homeboy kept his mouth shut about the island, he probably would have had it on the island. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And
Yeah.
they wouldn't have had to spend a whole nother, what is it, 30, $40 million trying to pull out the FEMA tents.
Yeah.
Or
It
if he
was
would have
terrible.
listened to the homie saying, yo, there's no infrastructure here. Let's park a cruise ship right off the coast and then have people travel back and forth.
Yeah.
That would have been fire. Still would have been fire.
It
Because
would have a
you know what I'm
cruise.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So the Fire Fest went wrong because of, bad decisions made by the dude in charge. Here,
Mhm.
we have a complete infrastructure. Like, we don't have to have you in tents. There's hotels all around. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? There's,
Mhm.
the stadium provides the food. The stadium provides, the bathrooms and we're bringing in the talent, the entertainment, and obviously, giving you different activations that's gonna keep you motivated. But the only way it turned into a fire fest is if the city of LA blow up,
Mm. Got
and
you.
then that's not on us.
Got you. So can you tell us again, recap for us, all the places we can find out about the God's House of Hip Hop 2020 Summer Fest, social media, websites, ticket sales, dates, when they go on sale, the last day of the early bird, if there's an early bird special, anything like that you can give us right now.
Yeah, there's no early bird. There's a right now bird. Like
Right
right
now,
now.
bird. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right now, go to www.2020summerfest.com and click that little get your tickets here button, and it'll take you immediately to the tickets where the streaming tickets are up for sale right now.
Mm-hmm.
April. So, but like I said, for those that is not coming to California, get the streaming tickets. Encourage others to get the streaming tickets. This is for the culture. It
Yeah.
starts at $20, plus fees, and then and if you want some swag, elevate your what you call it. April 30th, the in-person tickets go on sale. So if you planning to come to LA, the in-person tickets go on sale. They're pretty much going to be all VIP at the beginning, unless the state just says, hey, 22,000 people can come, which I doubt. So it's going to be dope. Anybody, and that's April 30th. And so at the bottom line is, if you're coming to LA, April 30th is your day. If you're not, right now is your day. Right now, go get the tickets. You ain't got to think about it. And if you're a Starbucks drinker, how about take a 30 days off, from drinking, and
You'll have it. You'll have it,
you know
right?
what I'm saying, and support the culture.
Yeah. So MC, let's do this. Let's mark our calendars right now. Let's make this Trackstarz Live special edition an ongoing thing until we get closer to the concert date, because I want to be able to showcase to the audience the different advances that are taking place. If you can update us on new ideas and new things that are happening, perhaps maybe even some of the COVID restrictions get lifted and you get more people that can come to the stadium. So if something like that happens, can we kind of set up some time where we do this again, and we call this the part one of a part two
Yeah,
and a
we
part
could.
three?
Yeah, we could. Because y'all, well, you guys are also a part of God's House of Hip Hop Radio. So,
Yeah.
you know, we actually created a radio show for the festival as
Oh,
well.
nice.
So, in which we're going to give details and updates, and we can do the same thing,
Okay.
for Trackstarz, where we can give you details and updates, because there will be some surprises, and when I tell you on a whole nother level, it's going to be on a whole nother level. You're not in the building when this go down, you're gonna be like, yo, I should have been there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Yeah.
so we got tons and tons of people hitting us up tons of celebrities trying to figure out how they can get in, get tickets, get suites, and you know what I mean. I mean, these are like, and you're like, whoa, okay. So definitely, please go follow us on Instagram at 2020 Summerfest. On Instagram, go to GH3 Radio as well. You know, and just and support the culture, like we're supporting the culture. Go check out Rise Magazine, because that is the official magazine for the, you know, for the festival. And we're going to be actually coming out with a commemorative edition for the festival that's going to highlight all 70 plus artists performing, you know, including the radio shows that are a part of it. So it's going to be a situation. So please go support Rise Magazine, RYZE magazine.com. They are the official magazine for the festival, but they also a CHH magazine. So support the culture that supports you.
MC, I appreciate your time. You know, I always salute you, sir. You are the general. Always salute you.
Hey,
Thank you so much.
I'm one amongst many. You know what I
mean? In this space, you're riding the white horse right now. In this space, you're riding the white horse. We appreciate that. Thank you so much for sitting down with me, taking the time out of your busy schedule, your day to do this. You're in the field with the track stars, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. Lego.